guys, welcome to my channel. This is Game On with Graham. Alright guys, we gotta discuss something here. So, I know this is not a gaming video, guys. I apologize. But, I wanted to cover some things. So, yesterday, I went to school. And it actually felt really good to be back in school, guys. My whole body, my adrenaline was running. It's like you know, something new in my chapter of my life. And you know, if you guys are coming out of high school and you're just like, ugh, I don't want to go to school, I want to just lay back and chill and, you know, not have to worry about school. Well, I do want to tell you one thing. College is different. So on that aspect, if you're going to a congressional college, I think that's how you say it, where it's not an actual dorm room college. Now, if you're going to a dorm room college, there's going to be a lot of things going on. There's going to be people partying and wanting to have fun and, you know, oversleeping for classes that start at, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever your class is. Yeah, if you're going to a college or a university, I should say, of a regular college, you know, I don't know what you call it. Like, colleges are totally different nowadays, so I don't know. But I know if you go to a if you go to a university college, it's not like a community college. So if you're not going to a community college, your hours are going to depend on your instructors. So if you're going to a university, I almost said universal. If you're going to a university, you're going to be required to be in class on time. Because I know for a fact, if you're not exactly on the dot for class. Now, usually I get to class about 15 minutes early, because I don't know what's going to happen in those 15 minutes, you know. I usually, so if I went to school and my class started at 9, now it takes me about 35 minutes to walk to school. So if my class started at 9 a.m., I literally would get up by 6:30 in the morning. And then if I had to take a shower, I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning. But I would leave the house, because I usually leave an hour early. So if my class is at 9, then I would be leaving at 7:55. Because I want to be there enough time. By the time I get there, I'm probably going to have to go to the bathroom. That's the necessity. You know, when you get to school, all of a sudden you realize, I'm going to be late. I got to go to the bathroom. Always prepare to be extra early, because you never know what your body's going to say. You got to go to the bathroom. I like the fact that, you know, when I get to school, I can take my time and be able to go to the bathroom and do what I got to do, and then get to class on time. Usually I'm outside the classroom waiting for, like, I don't know, 10 minutes tops. Sometimes I get there like 5 minutes before my class. It just depends on, you know, if I got everything organized and I can get out the door. Because there's several things that you have to think about. And that's what time your class starts, what time you want to have lunch. Don't skip meals, because, I mean, if you're in college, it's going to be a lot harder if you're in universities, because you're doing it on your own. You don't have, you know, you don't go to your mom and dad's house and say, hey, what's for lunch? If you're going to a university and you're going away to college, your parents aren't going to be there to tell you, hey, you need to eat lunch, or you need to eat breakfast, or you need to eat dinner. That's going to be all on you. So whatever you do when you go to a university, make sure that you have a plan on what you're going to eat, how much it's going to cost. Don't snack on chips, guys. I know so many people that I have known that would go to college with ramen noodles and chips and cookies and candy and all this other stuff. Believe me, guys, that stuff will definitely destroy your inside and out. I remember when I was growing up, I said, I'll be fine with mac and cheese and bologna sandwich. Yeah, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But, I never went to a university. I had a chance to, but I got super sick in high school. I was in a coma for 3 months when there was graduation. I didn't even know what month it was. When I came out of it, my mom was at my bed and she was constantly praying for me, which I thank God she was, because I had pneumonia, I had bronchitis, and I had emphysema. And I think they told my mom that they had to put me under for my body to heal itself. But when I woke up, back then I don't even remember, what happened, but my mom said I was asleep for 3 months. And I was just like, how is that possible? Well, when they put you to sleep, it's kind of like being in a coma. It basically is a coma. When they put you under for that long, they keep giving you medication for whatever your ailment is. Most people don't survive that. And I was very, very blessed that I survived, because otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. But anyways, yeah, if you're going to a university, I keep almost saying universal. If you're going away, far away or close or whatever, and you're going somewhere where your parents aren't going to be involved, and, a lot of kids, they leave high school, and their parents are like, oh, you got to go to a university, and they're waiting for that award letter for permission to go. Now, most parents can't send their kids to a university. And universities, they don't provide your food. You got to find your own food. And that's the thing that I'm glad that I literally can go to school and come home and have food. Now they have gift cards in that for school, where you can go and you can get a coffee or you can eat at the cafeteria. But if I did something like that, it would be just something real quick to grab. I don't think I would use my funding that I got for school, because, after a while that money's going to get lower and lower, and then you're going to be like, oh no, I didn't know I needed binders, and I didn't need folders, and I need, all this other stuff. Now, you guys know that I don't get much money every month, but I thank God I get as much as I do. I'm very blessed for that, because I am not going to criticize on, I'm on disability, I don't make much money. No. I've been on disability since 2002. Yeah. It took them 6 months to decide. And I was in a mental hospital. Yes, I was in a mental hospital. I went to a mental hospital a lot when my kids were growing up. I couldn't even count how many times I went to a mental hospital. But I was suffering from schizophrenia and bipolar. I have a stress disorder. So when we moved here to Illinois, I decided that I wanted to go to work. I wanted to work. And so I got a job at Ultra Foods. And I worked there for 2 months. And then there was a manager there that she was just, I don't know what you would call it, unreachable. And then I got another job offer that was paying way more. I was going to be making $13 to $14 an hour. And I was stoked. I went to that job every single day. I had so much fun, We got one break, and then we got lunch, and then we got another break. which I thought was fantastic because when I was working at Ultra Foods, we got one break. And what it perceived is I was working for a computer company. And we were selling the microchips that you guys see for the scanners, at the grocery stores and stuff. And we were making those. And we would call companies and let them know, is your chip machine working? Our tech can come out and look at your machine and see what's wrong with it. And there was a lot of people who were like, no, that's okay. We have somebody. Okay. I would say, okay, well, you have a fantastic day, no big deal. My bosses were telling me, no, you can't do that. You got to push them. No, I'm not doing that. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you want me to do. I don't care. I am going to be the nicest saleswoman in the world, And one sale, I ended up making $50 bonus, which was plus my wages. I made about $300 a week. The second week I went in, I started having some really weird, problems. I noticed when I'd get ready to go to work, I'd be walking to work and my heart would just start beating really fast. I'm just like, what in the world is going on? I didn't think anything of it. I got to work and I got super hot and I sat down because we always had meetings in the morning before we would hop onto our computers. And I don't know what it was, but I stood up and the whole place just spun. And when I woke up, I was asking everybody to help me up, let me get to my desk so I can get to work. They wouldn't let me. They made me stay there until the ambulance came. The ambulance came and they took me to the hospital and they wanted me to stay to see what was going on. I refused. Later on, my kids found out that, I refused to go to the hospital. I thought it was like a flu bug or something. So I slept all day on Sunday, and I'm not sure what day it was when I collapsed. But that Monday, I felt fantastic. I woke up and, I was getting ready to go outside, go for a walk. And I bent over, grabbed my shoes, turned around, and then all of a sudden, everything went black. I woke up and I was like this close to my coffee table. It was a glass coffee table. And when I woke up, I was laying on my back. And the coffee table was right here. And I looked over and I'm like, dude, if I would have taken 2 more steps, that thing would have went right through me. So I crawled to my couch and really struggled to get up on my couch. And I sat there for a few minutes and my heart just kept pounding. And I'm like, okay, I gotta call for help. So I called 911, they came, and I had to literally try to drag myself over to the sliding door to unlock it. And then they came in, and they started examining me and taking my blood pressure, and they're like, we gotta go. And I didn't know what that meant. And my blood pressure was 35/40. I don't know what that means, but they said it wasn't good. So they did an EKG, they did brain scan, they did an MRI, they did my heart. They made sure everything was okay there. Found out my heart was fine. But they were really worried because they couldn't figure out every time I stood up, my blood pressure would literally go down to 30. When I'm laying in bed and stuff, I was fine, normal. Every once in a while, I'd turn my head and I'd get really super dizzy. And one time I tried to get up to go to the bathroom on my own. And when I sat up on my bed, I was like this, and I had my legs over the bed. All of a sudden, this loud noise went off. And I'm just like, I couldn't hear nothing. And all of a sudden the nurse comes running in and I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you're not supposed to get out of bed without us. And I said, well, I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, that's what we're here for. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I cried because I felt so bad that the nurse had to come to help me to go pee. I mean, she wasn't in the bathroom watching me pee. Because she would, are you okay? You know, and every so often I'd hear, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I felt like I was on drugs. Like literally my whole vision and everything was blurry and it was a disaster. And finally the doctor says, we cannot figure out why your blood pressure's so low. And she says, when do you start feeling dizzy and that the room's spinning? I said, when I turn my head. She's like, so when you turn your head like this? I said, no, when I do this. And I shook my head. And literally I went, oh, that was not a good idea. So she says, I want to do one more test. So she had me take my head and put it to this side and lean over the bed like this. And she says, are you dizzy? I said, no, I'm fine. She says, okay, let's try the other side. So she had me lean this side, toward the floor and my head up. And dude, it was spinning everywhere. And I said, can I lift my head now? I'm going to throw up. And so she helped me get up because I couldn't get up. I couldn't sit up. It hurt so bad. And I literally felt like the whole room was just turning. Well, she found out I had vertigo, which I really haven't had a whole lot of problems with it, but I've had problems. A lot of times I can't shake my head, or if I bend over to grab something, usually by the time I stand up, I'm super dizzy. So usually if my son's with me and I bend over and I go to stand up, he usually grabs a hold of me. Yeah. So I got vertigo in this ear. A lot of times when my kids are talking, sometimes I can't hear, so I talk super, super loud. The worst thing is when this ear rings, if this one rings, I can't hear nothing. And it hurts. It feels like my eardrums are going to explode. It hurts. Usually when this one goes off, it's like, oh, ow, 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 please stop, please stop. And then when both of them are doing, I'm literally bent over saying, oh, please stop. And I'm supposed to go see the doctor. I got an appointment on the 5th. But anyways, about school. I know I got sidetracked with my stories. I apologize. Bram and her silly stories. But going to transitional college, community college, that's what it's called. Community college. I think that's the best option, especially if you don't have a whole lot of money, to go to school. If you're coming out of high school, guys, I'd prefer to go to community college. And, back when I was a kid, community college was like for people that don't have brains or aren't smart enough. No. Even if you're, you didn't get a good grade in high school, they don't judge you on that. They judge you on, how you tried and your GPA and all that. I guess it depends on what you're going into, but I've never had that problem with my college. And they've been there to help me through everything, At first, when you go to a community college, they want you to take, what is it called? Adult education classes, which is the reading and the math. Now, a lot of people think that those two courses won't interfere with my college. Well, this basically tells you what reading level you are. They want to know what reading level you are and what are you in math. Now, if you just plan on going in and taking college courses, I would prefer you guys to do the reading and the math. Now, I don't know why they call it this, but they thought I was going for my HSED or my GED or whatever. And they had me so confused. I was just like, what is he talking about, GED? You know. And I got into talking to my reading teacher. Now, the thing with my reading teacher, I was failing. Like, I would try to do my schoolwork, and for some reason, it was just like, I felt like I didn't understand anything. I felt like I was a failure. Like, I was failing everything. No matter what I did, I was a failure. And to me, I think that attitude made it more like my feelings were hurt. Like I wasn't smart enough, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And when I talked to my reading teacher, she says, no, you just got to know how, to take notes, to be able to identify, what the thing is talking about or what the story is saying. And to this day, I still don't know what I'm doing. But I've gotten a little bit better on reading my classroom stuff. Trying to understand what it's talking about. Now, if you guys don't know, I have a stack of books about this high. And these are my math and my reading books. I had to carry those suckers every single time I had class. Now, when I first started out, I had class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, school at the regular Central College, or however you want to say it, I can't remember what I said it. But they only have Monday through Thursday. Now, the thing that I learned later on in college is they do have tutors. I did not know this. When I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. I literally was just dumbfounded. I said, how in the world am I going to learn all this? And a lot of times, when you get those failing tests and that, you're just like, I tried so hard. I studied. I did this. I did that. And I still failed, and then your emotional toll, just like, I don't get it. Why, I studied and was up till 3:00 in the morning. Well, my experience was I would go to school and then I would come home and I would have my lunch. And then I would play video games. That was my problem. When you go to school and you wait till the last minute to try to do either your paper or studying for a test, if you do other things before you do that assignment or you do that test, don't wait till the last minute. I've learned this. I've learned you do not wait till the last minute. You do everything you can to concentrate on your schoolwork. Make that your first priority. And I know a lot of people, they say, well, my book bag's here, and my skateboard's here, and the games are here, and the movies are here, and some new shows on Netflix. Oh, I got to go on Facebook, see what my friends are doing. Oh, Twitter. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got to comment on that. There's so many distractions. And I do understand because I'm a gamer. I don't go too much on Facebook, but I do check my Twitter every so often. But I'm not constantly on my phone. I use my phone for messages from my family, message from my teachers. I use my phone for my bus fare. I finally figured out how to ride the bus with my phone. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So what I did was I decided to try it. So I have a credit card that I use for spending, and I have to take money out of the ATM to be able to put on it. And then I got to pay $3.59 or something like that to put money on it. But then when you put it on the card, you get the fees that they charge you, which is like $4.95. So if you put 20 on it and they're taking $4.95 off of it, add that up. It's not $20. So usually I try to put as much money on a card separate from my bill card. And how I do my bill card, because they don't send checks anymore. They do put them in the bank, but now they have an actual card. And what happens is when the money is on my card, I can't add money on that card. I can't do anything to that card. But if I go to a store and go to return something, they will put that money back on the card. That's okay. But I've noticed, a lot of times I would, buy the things I need, get everything that I need. And the basic thing I like to do is I pay my bills first. So if I can pay my bills first without being distracted by anything else, that's what I need to do for school. When you get money on a card, let's say you have a job and you get money every single week or 2 weeks or whatever your pay, you're excited to get that money. Do you think you're going to be on Facebook or Twitter, be like, ooh, my skateboard's right there, let's go out and skate? If you know you have money, you're not going to be distracted by anything, like at all, except, grocery shopping or paying your bills, or, you're right on the money because you know you can get stuff done. That's the same with school. If you get it done right away, then you can enjoy the other things. I love watching my shows. I literally love watching my things through Xfinity because I got Peacock. I have some other ones too, but we're not going to talk about that. But I always pay my bills first. When I wake up, that's the first thing I do is pay my bills. Then I go get the rent because, you have to have rent money for rent. And then once that's done, then I can go out and get my toilet paper, my trash bags, my dish soap, whatever I have to get for the house. I always get everything 1, 2, 3. Bills, rent, supplies. So if you think about it, college is you go to class, you take notes, you can either go home or you can go to somebody to help you understand how to take the notes. Because at colleges, now I don't know about university, but regular colleges that are in your area, because usually they're like College of Illinois, College of, DuPage, College of Wheaton, College of whatever. Those are small colleges, but believe me, they're not small. Good grief. Yesterday it took me, I think, an hour and a half to find my class. It took me forever. First, I got directions to go over, and I ended up in the nursing department. Then I'm like, where in the world is this class? Because it didn't say exactly what floor it was on. So I literally went everywhere. And finally, there was this guy, and I asked him, I said, I need your help. I don't know where in the world this class was. And he was walking that direction. So I was like, thank you, God. He showed me exactly which way to go. And I went that way, and I had to go all the way around. And the college I go to, it's huge. It is huge. And they have one big building, then they have multiple section buildings. And I was thinking, oh no, don't tell me I'm not in this building. Because it was the main building that I normally go into. Because if I have to go into another building, I'm going to be totally lost. Because these other sections of the college are big. They're not like little itty bitty buildings. So it's like humongous. And I'm thankful I'm in the same area that I was for my reading and my math. And I think the reading and math is very important when you first start out, because then the college, the community college, knows exactly what you know in high school. So a lot of people I knew when I was in math, they already knew most of the stuff how to do it because they were already in school. So when you come in and you're not, you're wanting to register for college classes, do the adult education classes first. Because if you go into college classes right away, you're going to completely be lost. I think because I took the reading class, it gave me self-esteem. It gave me where, okay, I can do this. And after I got up a little bit more in my reading and math, now math, I hate fractions. For some reason, I cannot do fractions. For some reason, they start doing fractions and then they go on. And now when you do the adult education classes, they're pretty quick. I mean, they don't just like do one little section and you're done and then the next. No, they continue, like they cram everything because you got to realize it's only 12 weeks. So they're literally cramming everything into you. So when you get the books for these adult learning education things, they literally skip everything. I mean, they just jump here, there, and everywhere in your books. They don't go in order. And they don't finish the entire book either. They do sections here, there, and everywhere. And it's just like, wow. In reading comprehension, you learn, how to take notes, like how to know the main idea and the definition and the different meanings and all this other stuff. And I still don't understand it. But I learned a lot in the reading class. She was very, very, very helpful. She always told me, you did very well. The first time, you were struggling a little bit. But as you went along, you did better. So, if you're in the beginning of school, and you're failing because you don't understand what's going on, the teachers are there for you. And if you don't have teachers that will help you, then you need to find somebody. Now, I don't know about high school. I don't know if they have tutors at high school for free of charge, but the colleges where I'm at, the community colleges, I would imagine it's for everywhere, but they literally are there to help you. So, like, if I go into class, because I start class Tuesday. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I'm going to be going over. This is a lot of stuff, guys, to take in. So, my first is this one. It's chapter 2. So, when you go to here, you can either do immersive reader, where the aide reads to you, or you can do the PDF file. So then what happened was, I'm going to go ahead and go over this real quick. So what happened was I was waiting for my financial aid. Now, I called them. They had dropped my class. Remember how I told you guys they dropped me? Well, I called the registration, and I registered for the class again. And then I called the financial aid, And she went in and she said, yeah, they did drop you. And I said, I don't know what to do. So she texted someone or emailed someone. I think I went over this a bunch of times, but I don't remember because I'm old. So she called or texted somebody or emailed them, and they put a lock on my account, which was awesome because it gave enough time for the money to go in my account. So then the 15th through the 18th, you could go get your books. I went right on Saturday. Now, the 18th, I'm not sure what the 18th date was. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. So the 18th was, because our assignment was due on the 18th, which was to get our books. Yeah, I didn't get my books till the 20th. Yeah, I was supposed to go on a Thursday, and I didn't go till Saturday. So, yeah, I went Saturday when I picked up my books. Wow. I didn't know it was the 20th, so I was literally late. But, I mean, it's okay. We haven't started classes. But, yeah, my class starts on Tuesday the 30th. And I'm not even sure why I pick up my books this day. Because I had 12 p.m. bookstore. Me and my son had to cancel the dentist appointment because we didn't have enough money to get to Villa Park to be able to go to his dentist, because every single dentist in our area does not take our medical card, which was kind of stupid, but it happens. But anyways, I was like, so what do I do, So I went to school on Saturday, and I went to the bookstore. Well, first I went to, yeah, so when I went to school on Saturday, it was Friday or Saturday, I don't remember what day. I think it was Saturday, because I had to pick up my grandbaby on Friday. So yeah, it was Saturday when I went. So when I went to the bookstore, I didn't even know if I had any money to get my books. So when I got there, I went up to the front and I said, I'm just checking to see if my aid went through so that way I could get my books for my class. And she, I entered my school code because you get a school code. I entered my code and she looked and she said, yeah, you have money in your account. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I said, okay, I need to find my book. So I go to, someone's going to help me find my book. And I'm walking with him and he says, what kind of book is it? And I said, well, it's a digital copy. I don't have to carry books. So he says, oh, digital, she can help you up front. I was like, oh, okay. My book was $249 for a digital, which I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like digital, because I'm more like hands-on type thing. But I'm really glad they did, because I guarantee this book would have been like that. There's a lot to cover. So when I went into my stuff, I went into my lectures, which is this. I went into labs, which is chapter 3 and 4. And then you go into assessments, and they have this. And this test out was the thing I was able to download my books so I could read them. Now, when I did this before, I did this earlier. And when I was going through this, I kind of just went through it. And I just went and answered all the questions thinking that, I had no clue what I was doing, guys. I had no clue. And I didn't do good at all. And there was only 5 questions. Actually, I think it was, hold up. Yeah, it was this one. I went through this section right here. And I took this one. So I think this one is the next section that I have to do. Um, yeah, so this is the next section. And then chapter 2 is going to be for class. So I'm like wondering, see, now this is the thing that I'm worried about is the fact of when I did see that it has all this stuff that you can go through. I mean, look at this. This book is huge. I mean, could you imagine having to carry this book? And I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And it's like, oh my Lord. I could not imagine how big this book would have been if I had to deal with it. So when you're done with chapter 11, which is right here, it goes all the way, and then A is your prepare test. This is now this I did not know. Prepare for test out fundamental pro certification. So I was talking to the librarian, and she told me my best bet would be to wait. Don't do anything else, she said, because you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You know, a lot of people get excited and they want to do work right away, you know, and then you get into class and they're not even covering that yet. So my suggestion, I mean, I want to get it all done, you know, and to me, I have to kind of hold back and say, you know, you want to do it, but you want to wait, because if you look at your teacher, all he wanted for you to do is buy the digital book. That's all that's on his thing, is buy the digital book by the 18th. Well, I was late. I got it on the 20th. Go figure. So then I was talking to the bookstore, and I was talking to him about stuff, and I was looking for my printer ink. They had none. Not for my printer. And I asked them, I went up there and I said, you guys going to get any more ink? And they said, no, probably not. And I'm like, wow, they sell printers, but no ink. Really? I was like, why would someone buy a printer? Well, I looked at Walmart. Now I know why they buy a printer at school. Plus, your financial aid pays for it. But I don't want to spend, I mean, it's $79 at Walmart. And my college is selling it for like $64 something. But I have 2 printers here. One of them I can't figure out for the life of me. The other one works, but it needs ink. I tried to do the fill up ink, you know, you fill the ink in the cartridge and, you know, wow, it's going to work. No, it was a mess. It was a disaster. You know, I watched so many YouTube videos on how to put ink in those things, and it was such a disaster. You know, I did everything they told me to, and it just made a mess. Yeah, it was really hard to, all that ink everywhere. I mean, it was on my floor, and I just, every time I put a little drop in there, it'd just leak everywhere. And I'm like, So I had to use hand sanitizing wipes to clean it all up. Because if you leave ink set on your floor, you'll never get it off. You have to do it right when it's wet. So I literally grabbed, you know, I was trying paper and that wasn't working. That was just smeared it around. So I hurried up and grabbed some hand sanitizing wipes and it wiped right up. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I was like, that's all I need is to get it everywhere. But, you know, when you go into community college and you get your books and that, you know, if I had a regular book, I would be like, you know, looking through it, seeing all the pictures and seeing all the stuff. And I want to do the work so bad. But I know if I jump the gun and start doing stuff. Now, when I did the reading and the math, I literally was going through the book, seeing what I could do. And then I just, for some reason, I just started doing stuff. And I wasn't thinking. And I literally, when we went over that section that I had done, I got it all wrong. Like, all of it wrong. And I'm just like, what was I thinking, you know? Anytime you go to school, wait for the instructor. Don't go ahead. Don't try. I know you're excited. I know you just want to go through the book and read it and, you know, take your notes and all that. Well, you got to realize the teacher's going to talk about more stuff than what is in the book. I learned this in my reading class. And I loved my teacher. My reading teacher, she was amazing. Now, my first math teacher, I did not get along with her. I just, for some reason, she just more confusing than anything. And then my second math teacher, oh, I loved her. She was awesome. She started in plus and subtraction. Then she went into multiplication and division. I mean, she went in order. The other teacher went from geometry all the way to the end. And it was like backwards. It's like, wait, what? And I think she was doing that because some of the kids that were in her class were already from college or from high school. They had just come from high school. But if you're thinking of going to community college and you're worried about like financial aid and how do I get it and what do I do and you know, all this other stuff. Usually the community colleges are really good on helping that. You just go to the financial aid department, go in there and say, you know, tell them all your information, show them your, you know, ID and, you know, talk to somebody at the college that, you know, can help you get there. It took a long time for my financial aid and stuff. I mean, I filled out stuff in the fall of last year and I could not get anything done. Like, I just kept figuring out what in the world is going on. I had a lot of problems with financial aid because I didn't understand any of it. Well, I went to school online in 2008 and I had gone to college and I had gotten money for school. I don't remember much of it, but I know that I ended up having debt from it. And then I went to go into my next course and the college went under. They literally went bankrupt. And I owed all that money. And I'm just like, how in the hell am I going to pay that? I can't pay that. What am I going to do? You know? And then all of a sudden I started seeing other colleges pop up. And I'm like, was I mentally not okay at that time? Was I kind of messed up? All I remember is from 2008 to 2009. And it showed 2010, 2012, and 2014. And I'm like, dude, I wasn't even in school those months or those years. So I don't know what was going on. But I contacted financial aid, and then I was talking to the school. I had to go to a counselor, the one that got me in my reading and my math. They help you out a great deal at community colleges. I don't know what you guys go through there at your schools, but they have been very, very helpful and very, very directional. A lot of times you'd ask someone for directions and you end up messing it up. So because I have hard hearing here, I heard the lady say, go right, go all the way down, go left, then go right and go through glass doors. That's what I heard. So I went that way and there was a dead end and the bookstore was my left, and I'm like, do I go up the stairs? I mean, I'm confused. And so I did go up the stairs, and I seen these big glass doors. Aha, I found my class. It was not my class. I went into the nursing department, so I was totally lost. I didn't know what the world I was doing. But I'm very thankful that there's people there that can help. And you know, when I went it back to the people that gave me the directions, they're like, "No, I said left, left, right." And I'm like, "Did you just say left?" And she's like, "Yeah, left, left, right." And I was like, "Oh, good grief. I thought you said right, right, left." So I don't know if they thought I didn't understand the directions. I couldn't hear exactly what they said, you know. So that happens when you have an inner ear problem. Sometimes the directions get all foggy. But yeah, so but anyways, I went to the lady, you know, where you go to, you know, register your classes, and then they show you how much you owe and blah blah blah. Well, I went to her, and you know, I'm like, so yeah, I had a question, blah blah blah, you know. And she looked at my account and she said, "Oh, you're 695 you owe us." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I said before it was 430. It was 430. She's like, "I don't know, you're registered for this." And I'm like, "Excuse me, can I see that? Can you print that out?" She printed it out. "I am not taking any of these classes. I take one class and that's it." And she's like, "Huh, I wonder why it has it." And I looked in my COD account. I'm only registered for one class. So I don't know what in the world was going on, but she told me to go to the cashier's office. Went to the cashier's office. Excuse me, I'm drooling. I gotta get a drink. Root beer. I mean, this is like almost an hour video, guys. So anyways, I went to the cashier's office. I put in my student code. And when I got there, or when I was talking to him, he's like, "No, you're all paid up." I was like, wow, this whole time I could have just went to him instead of listening to them. I don't know what's going on with their computer services or whatever it is. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to have more videos on how I'm doing, what my grades are. I'm going to show you guys all that on my progression. But I looked at how long it's going to take me for school. So I am registered for this summer, the fall, the spring, the summer, and the fall. So almost a year and a half, I think. They said a year and 6 months. So I don't know if that's my whole course or if I just take this course. I don't know yet. I guess I'll figure that out later on, but cross your fingers, pray to God that that I can do very well in this class. I do know a lot of computer stuff, so I'm hoping, I'm hoping and praying that, you know, everything's gonna fall into place. Now, I've learned that if I don't understand something, I can ask the professor after class. Okay, so you were talking about, you know, I'll write stuff down during the discussions and stuff. But if I'm kind of, my writing's all jibble jabble, you know, and, you know, I have a question. How do I take notes? Well, there are tutors at the school, and they're paid literally to tutor people. They have tutoring parts, sections in your college. They have math, they have reading and comprehension, and then they also have tutors for like note taking, how to take notes, what to do. Now, I know, guys, there's a lot of YouTube videos on here that talk about, to do this and to do that. And, it's good for like if you're looking up games or you have a question about. Anytime I have a question about religion and I go on YouTube, guess what I see? The Antichrist is here, the end of the world. I'm just like, wow. I don't pay any attention to that kind of stuff. That's just ridiculous. I mean, every so often, I get videos of showing new VR games and that, and I look on it, I click on it, I watch it, and it's like, dude, that game's been since Gear VR. What the heck? So, yeah, I think they can't find anything else in VR, so they have to go back a generation. But I know the next course that I'm going to take, and that is virtual reality, because I'm going to learn how to build a computer, how to, do the security part, how to, what goes with what, things that are in a computer. But I have to take another class, which is artificial intelligence. And I think that's another year and a half. So I don't know exactly. I mean, I should say this. I've been qualified for a year and 6 months. So I can take another course in the fall and then take one in the spring and then take one in the summer. So this class ends in July. And then my next class would start sometime in August, which I think registration's on the 20th. But I'm going to register early. And, I don't have an Illinois ID. So I was looking in my lockbox because I brought my lockbox from Beloit, Wisconsin. And my birth certificate wasn't in there. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Because I needed my birth certificate a long time ago for a job. And I had to have it for an ID for Wisconsin. So, and my mom and dad, they were gone. So I didn't know I had a birth certificate. I should call my sister and see if she has it in a box. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But, yeah, so I got to pay for my birth certificate where I was born. I call the courthouse where I was born, and then they'll send me to the apartment where they do the birth certificates. My birth certificate is going to cost me $35 to have them mail it to me. And, of course, you got to pay on the phone. And then after that, once I get my birth certificate, then I got to go to the DMV and fill out paperwork and have my award letter for the Social Security. And I need that before I get my birth certificate. So I got a lot of phone calls. I got a lot of stuff to do before school. And I have to have an ID. I have to have my light bill. And I have to have my ink for my school because I want to be able to print out the work that I need, because I want to be able to do it with this and be able to understand. Now, I'm not sure how it works for like the digital, how to underline all the important stuff. I don't know that yet. I'll figure that out eventually. Or I can ask somebody. But I do have my Chromebook from when I got in school. And if you guys don't know how to get a Chromebook, eBay is the best place. Make sure to pay attention to how many they're selling. Because if you go to somebody that is only selling one item and you're really worried about paying, $200 for a laptop or whatever you're going to purchase, and you're worried you're going to get scammed. Well, the thing with eBay now is money back guarantee. So if you pay $200 for something and you contacted the seller and they haven't responded, I think 10 days, if they have not responded, eBay has a money back guarantee where your money gets back to you, the exact amount you paid for it, and it'll go back on your card or whatever you paid with. Because now eBay does PayPal and credit card, which I usually pay with PayPal because this way I get the guarantee twice, PayPal and my card. I'd rather be secure than not secure. A lot of times, people call your phone and say, "Oh, by the way, your number's been locked," or you'll get an email saying, "Call your card at this number. It's been locked." I never pay attention to those because they're scammers. That's what they are. They're scammers. Because if I literally had something from my Illinois ID or something like that, and it said, "Oh, by the way, you got to go here," if they can give me an address, usually if there's a phone number, I'll look it up on Google to see what phone number it is. And I looked up the number, and the number on Google said that it was like a spam folder. And I'm just like, really? And I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, how in the world did they do that? How could they, text you something that has to do with the government, and they can text you that and they give you a false number? That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, anytime you get a text message and you see something, a lot of times I would get email, or no, I'd get a text or something, and it would say, "Thanks for your purchase for an iPhone. Your card will be charged $1,782. And I'm just like, wait, what? So I freaked out. I called the number. Guess what happened? He tried to have me give him information. And I said, nope. I hung up. He tried to tell me to enter a code into my PC so he could get all my information. I was like, nope. I hung up. Now, a lot of times, you see people gaming, and they're like, oh, push this button and this button. Don't do it. Because it will crash your computer. I've learned this. I never did it, of course, because I never listen to anybody that tells me anything, just like my kids. A lot of times if my son, I feel like I'm talking to you guys forever, but I feel like sometimes my son, when he says something, I kind of ignore it. But when he raises his voice, I'm like, okay, I'll do what you tell me to do. And it turns out. But if he doesn't raise his voice, I can't really hear that he's sincere when he's saying it. So it's pretty funny. He's like, Mom, what did I just say? And oh, you're yelling at me. Okay, cool. I love it when my son is stern because it makes me feel like he's my parent. I don't know. Me and my son have a great relationship. A lot of times I'll be teasing him. We'll be going for a walk and he's constantly texting on his phone. And I know parents get really aggravated when they're trying to talk to their kids on their cell phones and they're just texting. But I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. He's texting and I have to watch for traffic. But today, he was texting on his phone. And I literally got ready to walk into the street and he literally grabs my backpack and pulls me backwards. I did not see the car coming because I didn't hear it. So even though my son was texting, I know he's paying attention because I didn't get hit by that car. So yeah, even though, your kids are on their cell phones and they're texting, doesn't mean they don't hear you. But a lot of kids are like, I don't want to listen to her. She's annoying. I don't like my mom. She's mean. She makes me clean my room. She makes me do stuff that I don't want to. You guys got to realize moms are the best. Unless you don't have a mom that, is around anymore. Or you don't have a dad around. My sister, her friends thought that it was her grandma and grandpa raising her. They found out it was her mom and dad, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're old. I mean, my mom was in her 50s, and my dad was in his 50s, and she was like 13, 14, so yeah. My parents were old. My mom got pregnant with my little sister when she was 41. Which, around that time, I mean, womanhood is ending. At least I thought it was. But yeah. But I've only been married once. And you guys know about my husband, how he committed suicide. I found out from the records, though, he didn't just commit suicide. He tried to blow up 3 blocks. Yeah. Yep. He tried to blow up 3 blocks. He had a big, huge bin of gasoline. He had tape attached to his body, and he had a lighter. Whatever he was planning on doing, it didn't work. When they came in to check to see what was going on, they smelled gas. So they called the gas company to shut off the gas, thinking that's what it was. The gas and the water, of course. And when the cops came in, they everything, all the furniture was nailed to the wall. It was probably like a war zone. I mean, the walls were torn out. He had everything just boarded up. He was trying to make it where no one could come in. But then when the officer peered into the living room, he knew that the guy hanging there was dead, which was my husband. The thing is I hadn't seen him since 2006. He was in prison for having sex with a minor. She was 12. He tried to tell the judge that it was consensual, but the mother had other ideas. And the girl, well, she testified against him, which was shocking. I guess the parents made her do it. I don't know. But, yeah, he tried to blow up 3 blocks. So, yeah. I don't know why. His sisters took care of him. They gave him $50 a week to live on. $50. Toilet paper. I mean, what would I give for $50 a week? I mean, they were taking care of house. They were taking care of the bills. All he had to do was buy his necessities. $50 a week. $50 a week. And I didn't have to pay any bills. And they took care of it for me. I'd be fantastic. You guys, my light bill's $105. That's not including my internet bill. And I find my TVs in the trash. I literally do. Anytime I see something in the trash and I question, does it work? I don't know. Everybody probably looks at that like, ew, you take things out of the trash. Not everything. Not everything. I don't jump in a trash bin and dig for an iPhone or dig for treasure or whatever. If it's outside the trash can, I'm curious. Now, me and my son, we were leaving, and I saw this thing on the side of the trash, and I went out there and what is that? I walked over there and I was checking it out, seeing what it was. It was like a foldable bed. I got the pads right there. They had a zipper to take off the cloth. So I did that. Then I used Lysol to spray it down really good. Now the cover for the things, the pads I sprayed with Lysol. The cover I have to take to go get washed. Now the thing is every single month I use $20. I go to the bank, I get $20 in quarters, and by the time I do our sheets and our blankets and that, I'm already practically broke. So I have to take my grocery cart that I really don't use anymore. I got to take that and throw all our blankets, all our sheets, our pillowcases are no problem because those can go in with regular laundry. But, yeah, I'll be going to the laundromat for the first time. I don't want to go with a $20 bill, you know. I'll probably go get something to drink at CVS, like the tea, like lemon tea. It's only 99 cents, and then when you pay for tax, it's like $1.08. That way I can get laundry done. Because I'm going to have to go to the laundromat because of the fact of the washing machine that we have is not a big washing machine. I'm probably, and I lost my cap here, because I keep doing the snappy snap, so if I annoyed you, I apologize. I'm so sorry. my hands, like, I start doing something like this or whatever else. I'm sorry. If you got annoyed by that, I apologize. But anyway, I better cut this video. It's been an hour and 11 minutes. I feel like I just been having a whole conversation with God. Because I usually, you know, anytime I'm doing something, you know, and I'm kind of bored or I'm just hanging out, I just kind of talk in my head, or I'll literally just sit here and start talking. Me and my son both do it. A lot of times we're just talking and, you know, it's really weird. It's really weird. But I feel good being able to talk to you guys about some of the stuff that, you know, even though it was an hour long. Well, you guys get to hear the whole story all over again next video. But no, I will let you guys know after Thursday. I will let you know what I think of my classes for Thursday. Now, it won't be Thursday that I will talk to you about it, because Thursday I get paid. So in the morning I have to pay my bills, then go get rent, then come back home, then eat breakfast, then go to school, because my class don't start till 1. Thank you, Jesus, till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm there till 3:30 or 3:50. I'm there till 3:50. And my bladder does not hold very long. So I'm praying and hoping. I don't drink a lot of coffee, because if I do, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. And that's not good when you're in college, because if you have to go to the restroom and you miss something, it's going to be like, you're like, professor, what did you just say? What were you talking about when I went to the bathroom? Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't here. I'm not going to re-go over what you missed. Yeah, they won't do that. If you gotta pee, you either hold it or you wait till class is over. Because if you pee during your class, I mean, it's different with the education classes, because usually sometimes they'll give you a break to go to the bathroom. But when I was in math, I never got a break. So if I had to pee, I had to just go. I had to deal with it. But when you're taking a college course, your best bet is don't drink a lot before you go to school. And usually I have like 2 cups of coffee, so I'm going to have to restrain on drinking a lot before class. But, yeah, we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it shorter. Well, not really, because I've been talking to you guys for an hour and 14 minutes of my whole entire life and my whole entire existence. So I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Leave a like, subscribe below, and let me know what you guys think of the video by the comments. I will see you guys next time. This is Grandma signing out. Adios, amigos. Doses. I'm out.
You too.